know that a lot of stakeholders have come up to condemn what is going on. The Interreligious Council of Uganda, Bavudeyo, Nebagamba, this is not right. They have called upon the government to release Robert Chagulanyi in order to restore sanity in the country. And it's true. I mean, at the end of the day, the government should weigh the dangers in a way. What is keeping Robert Chagulanyi versus the chaos that is happening in the country? And what do we do as the government of Uganda? Because the thing that you're supposed to do is protect the citizen of this country. So at the end of the day, he's being charged with what? Unlawful procession and bringing together people who are more than 200. How many candidates have done that? How many processions have we seen? You understand? Churches have convened people who are more than 200. Mosques, people have gone to pray and they're more than 200. These COVID-19 rules are no longer working. And what we are seeing on screen right now is the UN also coming up to condemn the acts of violence and the violating of human rights. Nebagamba, this needs to end. Well, let's look at that footage and then to Komeo, producer.
Act in a manner.
Bobi Wine has been arrested again in Uganda ahead of the forthcoming elections. How concerned is the Secretary General about these developments?
We are. We've been following, I think, the developments around Uganda and the electoral, the presidential campaign. I think it's very important that state institutions, particularly security forces, act in a manner that respects human rights and the principle of the rule of law in order to for an inclusive and broad participatory political and environmental process. We will be following up more closely on the latest developments. And I think it's important that all parties and political actors and government leaders work in a way that will ensure a peaceful election.
A couple of follow-ups. You talk about peaceful, but the arrest has been followed by protests which appear to have been violently put down. There are even reports of people being shot by security forces, unconfirmed, and now some sort of curfew underway. How concerned are you about the current situation?
Well, people have a right to demonstrate peacefully. Any excessive use of force by security forces anywhere is of concern to us. It is important that there is a space provided for people to express themselves, whether in demonstration or through a democratic process.
After 36 years in power, do you think President Museveni is going to allow free and fair elections? I ask that question because the EU now is not going to send a monitoring mission. The reason the EU is not going to send a monitoring mission is because it says it's done it in previous years, and in 2016 it made 30 recommendations of things that the Ugandan authorities needed to do to have free and fair elections, and not one of them has been implemented.
Well, I can't predict what will happen. What I can say is that we hope there will be the space for the exercise of the democratic process. Maria, if that is...
Bobi Wine has been arrested again in Uganda.
Well, there you go. We know that UN has come up to condemn what is going on, and they've asked the government to come down on using violent methods in dealing with this situation, because like we said yesterday, you cannot turn down fire with fire. It never works. And we also recommended yesterday that the Electoral Commission and police sit on a round table to discuss these things. The funny part about this whole discussion is that we talked about the fact that the hierarchy of this whole campaign trail has been very tricky. Everybody has come up to say something. The Ministry of Health came up and said 200 people are the ones who are supposed to campaign now and not 70. And the Electoral Commission hadn't come up to communicate about that yet. Now we're there, and then we have RDCs in different districts who decide that today this candidate is not going to campaign in my district because of ABCD. We saw that when Robert Chagulanyi was supposed to go to Tororo, and Tanga Odoi himself was there on the roadblock telling these people that we are not going to allow Robert Chagulanyi to campaign in Toro, but where does he stand in the Electoral Commission process? And these are the questions that we are asking ourselves. Exactly. These are the questions that we are asking. We have different people who are, even security personnel, come up and they enforce issues or measures, and they come and say this candidate tagenda kukuba like a campaign trail because he was late, but you haven't gotten a communication from Electoral Commission, and this candidate has told you it's because of rain, it's because of the bad roads that I wasn't able to come, but I'm now here. So at the end of the day, Electoral Commission, just like Winnie Kiza said, Electoral Commission needs to come and sit on their chair and own that chair and talk to people like the Electoral Commission. And I like the fact that Simon Bimakama came out and he talked about the arrest of Robert Chagulanyi, but it was a long time coming. Why did they have to take this long to talk about it?
You see, the independence of the Electoral Commission as well has been subjected to judgment. And Ugandans are watching. I don't know whether the people in charge of governance of this country don't know that Ugandans watch and understand these things the way they do happen. Okay? Yesterday was one of the people who were thinking that why has it taken the Electoral Commission to come out to speak on these matters? Okay? Candidate wo bamukute, and me I was wondering, were they orders from the Electoral Commission or orders from the security agencies? Okay? Bwezibanga orders zavudde muba byokwerinda. Then where was the Electoral Commission? Electoral Commission yandibadde evire ku nnaku lwennyini lwe baakwata Robert Chagulanyi nevumirira ekikolwa ekyo bwebanga si yawa order. Okay? And one thing that we are thinking about that bwe tubanga we are losing lives in the name of protecting ourselves from COVID-19, why not postpone the elections?
Omanyi Electoral Commission ene ya Uganda ezze ekola ebintu bingi ebyenjawulo okuba nti kanna abantu bagiruzingamu obwesige. Tujukire mu kalulu ka 2016 Electoral Commission abantu balonda eggulu nenga mu Kampala nino bulute bunnatuuka. Electoral Commission eri waneeno ku Jinja Road nenga wano Makindye nga bulute bunnatuuka mu Nakawa tebuliyo nenga ate eggulu ewwa balonda mu Wakiso wano nga te bulute bunnatuuka. So abantu babuuza ddala obugulu bugenda butye padel nenga omuntu ali wano mu Wakiso ali mu Makindye nafuna bululu obwo. Abantu balinoga nti waliwo akazanyibwa awo nti wakuba oba eri opposition nyingi nnyo basooka bala ebiri ebyo bali balonde tulabe ekivaayo. Opposition tulia isi sawa nebadde eriko nga olaba nti eriana netekawo amateeka nero mateeka tutegavudde okuba nigateekebwa mu nkola. Ogamba ngeri ng'erina enkoba z'omuntu zeetambuliramu. Kyebagamba independent. Electoral Commission teri independent. So njala baveeyo iseveeyo tulage their independence. Gamba ngesobola okusalawo embeera naye nga isi ekino okuba nga kikolebwa. N'ebiranga kino kitambula kino okupata. Naye tume kubeera nga isi ojja n'oteekawo nti abantu balina kubeera bibiri. Oba balina ate police n'ojja n'ega nedda. Tuba Chagulanyi Lugundi agenda kubeera Arua hari olina agiraga tojja kuba nti ogenda. Kati ekintu kyabadde kwa Muriya Toboy. Yagenze engulu FDC yavudde eraga. Bagenze badde balina gye bali mu Northern Region, they paid airplay ku radio. Ne babagano okuba nti bagendako. So ebintu ebingebyo ise ino okubeera independence yaayo. Omuntu bwa program nti alina kubanga abeera mu kintu kino bwekyo olunaku bwe ruti abeere nga akibeerako ate tumekubeera katulaba nti ate gundi alina kubeera ggulu ate RDC aganye abantu bagenda kwongera okubanga baluzinga trust mu EC.
But as we're speaking about Electoral Commission, you know, everything comes with a silver lining. I'd say we have a silver lining in this chaos that is being happened and Robert Chagulanyi being arrested. And the silver lining is, for the first time, opposition members are actually coming together and sitting on one table and discussing these issues. We've seen Mugisha Muntu say he's no longer going to campaign until Robert Chagulanyi is released. We have seen DP come out and say they're not going to do it. We have seen Joseph Mayanja, remember he had a falling out with NUP, but he still says he's not going to campaign.
Even Lord Mayor
Katumba has joined the team and he says he's not campaigning until Robert Chagulanyi. The Lord Mayor has joined. Everybody is now joining forces to say enough is enough and Robert Chagulanyi needs to be released. It's only FDC that say they will continue with their campaign.
At first they said they were pulling out.
No, now they said they'll continue with it.
No, a boy mutu mukotinga bulungi teyagambye is falling out. Yagambye kigenda kudependinga ku team ye. Kyagenda okusala the decide. Era team yavuzeyo nejja neyanjula ensonga ti bo they are going ahead.
Well, I want to applaud all those candidates that came out and stood with other fellow opposition candidates because in law they said that injustice to one is injustice to all.
Yeah.
Okay? So okuvayo ne bakondeming ekyakoleddwa. Nze ndaba nga it's a step ahead in unity amongst the opposition. Era singa bavayo ono singa omuntu enavaayo n'akuba akali. In fact, I saw some of them campaign yesterday. I think FDC did and General Kaguta Museveni did. And I heard him speak some words that to me I didn't find them favorable to Ugandans. We saw the procession there was in Kotido. And ngojeko wano nti tent weyabadde. There was the required number of people. But when you look at this, how the streets of that place were filled up with crowds, one thing that got into my mind, I was like, okay, so Bobi Wine or Robert Kyagulanyi has equally had this kind of procession. We've seen people chant him. We've seen people follow him and they are tear gassed. And then I saw a crowd waiting for General Kaguta Museveni, the president of this country, and there was nothing done to them.
Well,
that one got me thinking otherwise as a journalist. Chivala lusinzija wanengamba nti kiba kizibu nnyo okujja wano otuula ku kiseti nga wano nga munnamawulire n'ogamba mpu aba Robert Kyagulanyi temukola ki mu dispersing a crowd oba temwetaga kuŋŋaana. And then you see another crowd being treated like royals.